We're getting ready to tour the inside of the plant. Everybody's working hard today, but kind of get a better idea about what they do at CRACO Manufacturing, how the business got started, and that it is American company, American made.
I don't know if you guys heard the radio show when she started talking about our relationship with CRACO and you know, about the product a little bit, and she's reading this and she starts talking about gouge of metal.
I was saying it phonetically.
I'm like, honey, the gauge of metal's not like the gauge in your car, but it's still the same thing. It's the gauge, it's the thickness. Come on. She goes, what do you mean? What are you talking about? So on break, I had to explain it to her.
No, you did it live on air. Yeah.
We've been doing that. We started in 1982. Have been in this facility since 1994. The slitter, the first process you saw, is actually what we do for our manufacturing process, because we use anywhere from 2-inch molds to 24-inch molds. That is on the CRACO metal supply side, and I've got a partner, Randy Adams. Randy's my partner 50-50. He runs the side of the service center side, and I run the manufacturing. The service center side was the first machine. That takes raw material that we buy from all the domestic steel mills. U.S. Steel, Nucor's a big hitter for us, Steel Dynamics, all the main guys in the United States. And we'll take and buy coils called master coils. So they're anywhere from 30 to 40 to 50,000 pounds. And we have a machine called a slitter. Simple process, but very, very large equipment that can handle a ton of weight. Very interesting and a very wonderful process, because there's no abrasives to cut. It's a dry cut. If you think about it like a pair of round scissors that are cutting a piece of paper, but it's cutting as it's going around. So it's a great process because it's so clean, and there's no fumes. There's absolutely nothing for to go in the atmosphere. So I'm very proud to have that, because it just makes life so much easier. But what it does is it takes with these master coils, and it's called a slitter. It basically slits a 5-foot wide coil into, say, let's say 60 inches. Say it'll get 6 cuts of 10 inches. So that's your 60 inches. It wraps up those molds after they've been cut. So the master coil really is the same size. It's the same material as what's on the recoil finished stuff, but it's just in different molds. And then the packaging line basically lays down each mold, so we can package it on a skid, send it to the customer, and they're ready to run their product. So it's basically, we're selling them raw material. And the phrase that people use is, we're basically a service center. We provide that service. So it has to be done. No one can order a 10-inch mold from the steel mills. So it has to go through us.
What you just recorded in these buckets, Angie, are our connectors, and this is very important to us. In fact, it's mentioned in the commercial we did. If you have a structure, any kind of structure has a thermal sort of a movement. Even with the hot and cold stuff, it'll shift a little bit. So if you've got an exterior wall, our studs will attach. This is our deflection connector. This is a rigid mount here. This goes into the stud. So what happens is, when the stud moves, it allows that much deflection.
It can move.
So the exterior wall is actually moving. Now this could be a very minimal amount, but that stops all your cracking, your masonry cracking. And this is a very, very, very good
the
product.
weather changes, all that stuff moves
Yep.
around.
And we've actually got a patented screw that when you screw it in as tight as you can, it's got a little land that's 70 thousand, which allows this to, you can jam it in there, but you got that little bit of resistance, so it allows it, because if you screwed it in tight, it would never move. You got to have that little bit of land. So this is and every one of our products come with free screws. We have a patented screw. When you get a bucket of stuff from us, you got everything you need to put it on. So it's a really, really good product.
After we looked at the slitter and the process there, we walked over to the roll forming, and it's called roll forming because obviously it's got progressive rolls, and each sand rolls just a little bit more until you get your C shape. But now I don't think I told you about the hole. The holes are for pre-cut electrical lines or maybe a water line. So these wood framers, when they have to drill a hole to get everything through. These are all pre-cut. You throw a grommet in there, run your lines, and it's done. So not only is it doesn't warp, the product doesn't warp like wood does, and our links are plus or minus 30 thousandths. So we have to abide by that in order to be certified. It's very efficient the way we do things. It's almost like we call it vertically integrated, which is a term used quite a bit. We don't have to buy from somebody that slits at a service center. We have our own service center. We don't have to buy from somebody that buys from the mills. We buy from the mills. We go from the steel mill all the way to the distributor. Going from the slitter to our roll formers, there's no freight, and then it's instant. If we had to wait a day on a delay or something, just in freight, which happens, we could be a day late on delivery, and for us, it's a matter of driving it across the shop. So it's fantastic efficiency. But what you were showing on the line is really our trade. We got a trademark on Smart Frame. That is our product, and it's unique to us. We've got our own ICC certification on that particular product. We are very proud of that product that you saw going out, and we have to make sure that it's straight. It's perfectly straight within thousandths of an inch, and we do that.
This is used in wood construction and metal construction. This is R1. It's called resilient channel. What it does is every hotel will use it. Anytime you need a sound barrier between a wall, this knocks the sound down by a certain radius, and it allows you to have a much wider wall, which you need in a commercial setting like a hotel or anything like that.
Sure tell the hotel rooms that have not done that.
You can certainly tell that.
We sell to what's called distributors. They're commonly known as yards, drywall yards. They will carry steel, drywall, mud, tape, everything that a drywall finisher needs.
Okay.
So, and mostly for commercial. A lot of them carry wood as well, but a lot of these yards are strictly commercial guys. So we have tons of customers that are big and small that do that, and they will distribute it to the contractor. For us as a manufacturer, we don't sell to contractors because we're wholesaling it. Everybody that we buy from provides us with a resale certificate. A contractor may order 10 pieces. Well, we can't do that. I mean, we're not set up to do that. So that's where a drywall distributor, yard, what have you, that's where they make their money, which is good for them because they're taking that and piecemealing out and stuff. So that's a great business for them. We're just not set up to do that. Now, what we do that I mentioned on the commercial was we do job site deliveries, which no manufacturer I know of does. Now we do it locally because we can't deliver to California, but in the states that we service, most of the time in a 4-hour radius from here, we can get our guy there and back in a 4-hour radius, which brings in obviously Columbia, Charleston, brings in Raleigh, North Carolina. I mean anywhere 4 hours away. But what that does is when a commercial business is being put up or being erected, steel goes first. They don't really need drywall, so they just need the steel. We said, listen, how can we help our customer? And if all this steel is going there, if we send it to our customer, our truckload, they're going to have to unload it, put it in their inventory, load it back on their truck, and then take it to job site, which is at least, we figured anywhere from 10 to 14%. And I said, guys, I'm delivering it to you. I don't care to drive to the job site. I mean, to me, it's no more miles. Let me drop it off. And they were like, that's a heck of an idea. And what we do, we drop it off at the job site, we document it, we videotape the documentation, and we show everything that's there. We show where we put it. We show where their customers are completely happy. Because number one, they're getting it at least 3 days earlier than they would have expected.
Yeah, a minimum of 3 days.
So that means, and construction, that means a lot to these guys. So, I don't know of anybody else really in the country. I could be wrong, but I don't know of anybody else that's doing that. So that's a service that we really, really are proud of. That's something we can help our customer. Just save money.
And then we were talking a little bit about that everything really is American made.
On Randy's side of the business, the supply side, that's where we procure all of our raw material. And they're from all the domestic steel mills. Nucor's down in Goose Creek or down in Berkeley County near Charleston. They are a huge hitter, and we love them. And we got a very good relationship with them. And any of the big guys, they can get Gibraltar and who's the other big guy, U.S. Steel and Cleveland Cliffs. These are all enormous integrated steel mills. So that's how we go from farm to table, being all United States material. So we're proud of that too. We're very proud of that.